Hi everyone, welcome to Nani Live. I hope you are doing great. Happy Friday to everyone. So welcome to Nani Live. I'm so excited that it's January ending. Again, I am super conscious of time. I am super conscious of hours and it's so beautiful to live in a moment, to be fully aware, to be present in every minute, every second, but at the same time trying to find time to kind of look back, where you're coming from, where you're going, where you are, because really it's important to look at life that way, because life can get to a point where if you're not careful, the present or the past can sort of trap you and make you think that is all that there is to be, that is all that there is to deal with, So you don't want to be on the other end of a person who is just so much focused on what they have to deal with now, what they have to deal with today, and focusing on the limitations now, or allowing your past, your challenges in the past to kind of stop you or to make you just focus on that. We don't want that, We want to be people who, and as much as are conscious of what is present, what they have, what are their limitations, what are their opportunities, but also you're able to also go all the way into your future and looking at what could be, what is possible for you. So that is what I love about being super aware, being conscious of the time. By the time, meaning the ticking of the clock, meaning the now, being aware of my now, my present moment, and just trying to be there fully. And also recollecting, being aware of my past, where I come from, as well as my future, what could be. Yeah, so I might not be well now, maybe physically, mentally, but it's so refreshing to know that this is only for a moment, that tomorrow is a new day, tomorrow is a great future for me. And it's so, there's a lot that is untapped, there's a lot that is not known, and as far as that is not known, it gives me a chance to hope, it gives me a chance to think positive, to kind of know that there is some positive energy in store for me, so it doesn't matter what I'm going through right now. So I hope and that really helps you to set your goals, that helps you to plan. So I hope that really helps in fueling you to kind of live your life with that big picture. So and that's why I keep on talking whenever I get online, whenever I get on live. I keep on asking you guys, how is January? Where are we right now? But what kind of expectations do you have? Are you keeping in check of your day to day? Are you keeping in check of your potential, your possibilities? Or are you stuck? Don't be stuck in the moment. Don't be stuck, in the past. You have a lot of beautiful possibilities inside of you and in time, in what is out there in terms of what the world life has for you. So it's like a little child unfolding gifts and you're just wondering what is inside of there. So you got talents, you got skills, you got a lot, as long as you are able to hear me right now, maybe now or later, that means you are privileged. Okay, so focus on what you have, what you can do, not what you do not have, or rather things that you cannot change. So anyways, welcome to today's talk, and we are winding up. Next week time like now will be in February. I hope you are excited. You are excited. This year is just amazing for me, and I really pray and hope that it's not just the vibe the vibe we all have it for the beginning of the year. I didn't expect I would be feeling like this, but it's like I am on whole another level of anticipating, gearing myself, charging myself for all that is ahead of me. And so I am speaking all these things from the experience, and I hope that life again, can be filled with ups and downs. So I just want to monitor my excitements and my lows, and just trying to see how best I can keep on, staying motivated, energized, and things like that. So I hope, I hope you also have a way to kind of monitor that for you. So I have, I've timed my time today because I think I have a lot to share, a lot to speak, but, time may not be enough for us. So I just want to make this short but interesting. Hopefully it will be interesting. So welcome. If it's your first time, we are having our monthly theme conversations around values, and that is what we started with as the theme for January, putting the things that ground us right. And we have been having amazing conversations, not just of a live session, but even in our career gear up. We have monthly meetups. These are closed sessions, but they're free. You have to sign up for them if you want to join them. Every month we meet. If you're a working professional, aspiring to be a working professional, or an entrepreneur, whatever, you're in a corporate, you are running your own business, you're in working in any industry, or you are a student hoping that someday you will get into the working world. This would be really great for you. So we are having great talks every month. We have facilitators, we're networking, we're sharing opportunities, so you don't want to miss if you are interested. So this month we had a great speaker. His name is Charles Washoma, Mr. Charles, and it was great. It was really great to just learn about values, and I had some few insights around that. And as much as I speak about this topic, I try to live by it, but I still got some great insights from that session. So unfortunately, if you missed out, I don't know what to do to help you, but maybe you can check out for the next month, but we'll be talking about another topic. So anyways, so coming back to this, I just want to kind of recollect the things I've been learning about values, what we've been discussing about, and kind of just putting a closing to values. It's a very important aspect of life. I cannot emphasize it enough. I don't know where would I be if it were not for values. I look at how my parents raised me, how our family, my siblings, how we grew up. We grew up not in the privileged environment. We were not having it all. Actually, my parents were struggling. They were not educated. They were like all that they got us was not what they had. But it's because of those strong values. They really valued education. They really valued the good morals. And, they valued about equality. We were girls and boys in the family, but I never, ever felt that, I was different because I'm a girl, because of my gender, all these things that we come and learn about how critical, like how serious, how gender discrimination is in workplaces, in the rural areas and things like that. How just because you were born, a female or a male, it affects you, your whole life and how you access opportunities and things like that. So it never occurred to me that was an issue because I never saw it, how I was treated at home, how I was encouraged, when I went to school, how my teachers treated me. So, I thought I was just as equal as anybody else. If there are opportunities, I can, I have the right access to it, and I can get to as far as I can be. And that really helps me to be where I am today and who I am today, the kind of mindset and spirit that I have. So I'm really grateful to values. And I think where it's negatively, shaped, that can also bring a disaster, in a person, in a community, in a society, and things like that. So I think that is something also that our speaker mentioned, like how do values shape you? Who raised you? What shaped you to who you are today? So whether you have negative aspects or positive aspects, it really matters to you. So I want you to kind of take that moment to reflect. Who raised you? How were you raised? What kind of things that were instilled in you over and over and over that have made you the person that you are today? probably those things make you love yourself even more, or those things make you hate yourself somehow, or resent yourself, or maybe resent somebody, or resent some things, or resent the way you see the way things are, just because of those values that were instilled in you. So that's very important. That is very important. But another thing is, today we are looking for opportunities. You are starting a business. There are things that you might find yourself being forced to do because you are forced to comply with certain ways of the world, or the certain ways of doing business that might not really resonate with what you are really believing in. So it comes back again to compromising your values. So those decisions can really affect you. It could be the pressure from the customers, the pressure could come from your partners, the pressure could come from your sponsors, the pressure could come from investors, whatever it is. So, and not aligning with who you are does not mean that those values are negative, okay? So you have to know that. So you have to start from a place where you know who you are. What do you want, out of yourself? Where are you going, okay? And what has really, brought you to where you are? And I'm not saying that you're not allowed to change. You can adjust. You can adjust. We're gonna talk about that. You can adjust because we want you to be a better version of yourself. So you can, you can get to a point where, what? I was raised in this way. I have this value that I've held in me for so long, but what? It's about time that I stop it because it's not helping me anymore. And I want to embrace a different value that really resonates with where I am going. So that is very much okay. Okay. So, but I am saying that for you to make that transition, or for you to be forced to merge or to align or to make a decision that does not resonate with your values, that can be a problem. Okay, and that does not only end when you're running a business. Sometimes you can be just an individual. You're done with university, you're looking for a job, and you get into employment. You get to join this organization. It's an amazing organization. You get a good pay, everything is all right, but except for one thing, maybe they force you to accept bribe, maybe they force you to do something that is not in line with who you are, what you believe in, what you've been raised to do or to be. Maybe it compromises your belief system and things like that. So how do you make the right move? How do you decide, So are you willing to sacrifice maybe that job to stay unemployed because of that one value? Or are you like, I don't mind, I don't care as long as I'm earning my living, okay? So we don't want to have those individuals who are okay with anything. We want you to be an individual who is in control of your life. You are in control of your decisions. You are in control of what's happening. Even if you're being redirected, you're very aware of that and you allow that. Because if you don't have any stand, if you don't have anything to ground you, believe me, the world of today is changing every day. The things we are forced to accept, the things we are forced to just shape our perceptions, whether you know it or you don't know. It could be an ingredient in one of your meals. You always buy and eat your food in a certain way, but because there's this added ingredient you do not understand, you do not question, your food tastes the same way, but you don't know how 5 years down the line that ingredient could be maybe causing you cancer. Maybe it's causing you something, damaging. But because you really didn't pay attention, it was okay. And it was just part of, it was a small thing. So that is how our generation nowadays, it's like, I would say it's like changing without, we take these small changes, we accommodate them, and before we know it, it's a big part of who we are, how we think, and we don't even know who we are anymore, So we don't want to lose that. Yeah, we want to adjust, we want to allow changes, but we want our core, our core to be the same, the things that we think we would pass on to the next generation if you ever get to that point, to be those things that matter. So it's very, very important. And so that's why we say, this year it's got to start with values. We are all out to discuss about values. It's about time people really put that out there. So we had some conversations. If you've missed them, just go to our profile and you will look at our previous conversations. We talked about core values, how that process can help you go through it. If you don't know anything like where to start, we also have shared a post on Mimi Nani values. So maybe just to help you, you can think about, if you don't have core values right now, at least, I don't know, after you listen to this, try to go back to yourself, think about your life, at least come up with 3, 4, 5 words that can really define your values, can identify with you, okay? And our session today, I want us to move from having values as some sort of things that give us status, to things that define us in terms of, becoming our DNA, a part of our character, okay? So by character are things that, could be, again, going back to value, I'm using the word values, but these are qualities. I would say character are those qualities that are not seen, they're more inside of you, but they tend to show up whenever you have a decision to make, whenever you face a life circumstance, whenever you're tested. That ability to showcase or to move, that move is what really reveals your character. Okay, so I would say character could be faithfulness. So how faithful are you? We cannot know how faithful you are. If we meet you, you can look so cute, you can be nice, you can be funny, but we don't know how faithful you are until we entrust you with something. Maybe we give you money, maybe we give you a role, and now how do you show up for that role? How do you make decisions? How do you act? You find a wallet that is, you are working in an office with your co-workers, so you find a wallet that one of you dropped. You see that is not yours, it's somebody's. So how do you steal the money? Like, do you take that money out and just report, or do you leave it there, or do you go and report and everything as it is? So things like those. So whenever you are tested, whenever you are into a circumstance, how do you make that decision that reveals your character, that reveals the true person that is in you? And it takes time for us to really know people. But once you learn to define your values, to understand your values, you can determine how you want your character, the person inside your character to be. Okay, and you can move from maybe more of a negative character, maybe toxic character, to a positive, because you've been conscious to go like, these are the things that I want to be my values, the things that I want to identify me. So I want us to really find those things, that are within us, not just things that make us look good. I don't want you to go with those values. If you do bling bling, we say this person loves to look smart, this person values to be smart, this person values to be elegant by the way they're dressed, the way they speak. Well, that is nice, but really that does not say much about your character. That does not really tell us about how much you're well-grounded, and that is the most important thing, okay? So this is what this conversation is about, and I want you to get started with that. If you want to have the values that really shape your character, I want you to think about think about your qualities. Think about what are your strongest qualities. Okay, this could be your strengths. This could be your talents. Okay, this could be things that, let's say your kindness. Let's say your giving. Let's say you care about people, caring. Maybe you're a faithful person. So you try to list the things that really are, they whenever you are in hard decisions, what helps you go, what keeps you going, and things like that. What when you're in a dilemma, like you have really like tough confrontation and you have to really make a decision, what things really help you decide? So there are people perhaps that would resolve to maybe, going into their spiritual depth, like prayers, foundation and things like that. that is, that is how other people do. Some other people would maybe find time alone, like that's when they do find their, their peace and things like that. So what are your qualities, or what are your strongest talents? What are your interests? So interests also can help you to find your values. So just look at yourself, where do you spend most of your free time? Okay. And it could be maybe reading, it could be fishing, it could be you write stories, you write articles. So all that, your interests, that could be around the things that you really value. So try to list your interests, and those interests is how you spend your time. The other thing could be material things. Think about whenever you're going out shopping, whenever you get money, what are the things that you think of spending, you want to spend all the time, or things like that. So material things can really kind of tell, what values are embedded in you. Okay, so if you're always, let's say, you're always buying cosmetics, maybe you're always buying certain beauty products, you care about how you look and something like that, perhaps there is an underneath value, about that. Why do you do? So ask yourself, why do you spend that much on that material thing? Okay. So the other thing is your actions, the things you do. So if you find yourself doing certain things so much, or you value doing certain things a lot, again, that might not be a value in itself, but it represents something that you value so much. Okay. So if you spend a lot of time maybe reading or researching, that means you value knowledge. Okay. You value knowledge. So if people are talking about something and you realize that I'm ignorant in that area, and then before you know it, you're already Googling, you're finding all the information. If you hear about this opportunity, you go for it, you try to learn as much information as possible. So that means from the things you do, you seeking knowledge, you trying to learn more things, you trying to read, you trying to, to explore. That means your value is that you value knowledge, you value learning. Okay, so I want you to go through that exercise and try to come up with at least, five words that will explain about your values. Okay, so now from that list, the next thing would be to look at that. Okay, what's new? Okay, what is new from those values? So whenever we do this exercise with participants in our training courses, they'll come up with like 5 things or 5 words that really, those are the things that they either define their character, they define their qualities, they define their talents, their interests, maybe the people they value in their life. So one will have, let's say, family in their top priorities. Okay, so but now the next thing is to look at are those easy for you? Is there any value that is new to you? Okay, so maybe you admire a certain quality. Okay, you have started a business. You're an entrepreneur, you have started a business, and you want to do it different. So you're saying, I want excellence. I want excellent delivery. I want excellent presentation. I want excellent pitching skills for myself. I want to be excellent. So excellent is going to be my value because I want to position myself better, So if excellence is going to be one of your top values, maybe that excellence is a new thing to you. It's hard to be excellent because all your life you have not been raised to be excellent. Okay, so in as much as you want to be identified, you want your DNA to be excellence as your value, your top value, but you don't know much about excellence. You have not been raised with excellence. Every time you go to restaurants, you go to, to get a service or to buy a product, you don't experience excellence. So it's not taught to you. It's not raised in you. So that is a new value. So the next question would be, looking into those values. What is new? What is easy? What is hard? Okay, what needs work? Because some values are not going to be comfortable to live by them every day. Okay, so if you join a company whereby their top values is honesty, to be truthful, and you come from a background where you don't do that, it's okay to lie, it's okay to cheat, it's going to be uncomfortable for you. But that's the environment that you're going to be there for, like maybe next 5-10 years. So it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's the right thing to do because it's going to shape you for the better. So how does that become a part of you? Okay, so it's very important to be open to understanding those differences. Okay, so the other thing would be now having a list of 5 things. So I'm going to give you just an example. For instance, you have one is family first, could be your value, time management, excellence, maybe solitude is your time alone, and maybe a relationship with God. I keep seeing this over and over. Either it's spirituality or your relationship with God. And the other one could be health and fitness. Okay, so these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those are your top 7 values, and I just put them out like this because they're just an example. You can have 3 of them, 5 of them, 6, 2, whatever. Okay, so the next thing would be in that list, you want your family to be first, you want to be a good time manager, you want to be defined by excellence, you want to have your enough time alone, you want to have your solitude, you want your relationship with God to be your top value, you want your health to be good. Perhaps you just value your health, because once your health is good, everything else is good. You can go to work, you can do so much. And maybe fitness. So fitness is another value that you value. So maybe you're athletic, maybe you love to be fit. So all those things. So for whatever reasons, they define you. An athlete would say fitness is my top value because if I'm not fit, I cannot compete. I cannot get into Olympics. I cannot get into competition. So I need to be fit. I need to work out every day. I need to practice and things like that. So it's different for different people. So now in this list, okay, you need to see how do you polish. Okay, so the first question would be, how do you polish some of these values? Because you have not, again, some of these you're just adopting them. Fitness has to be your top value because you're an athlete, but it's not something you love to do. Okay, so how do you polish it? The other question is, how do you showcase? Okay, how do you showcase it? How do you package it? Okay, how do you groom that? You want your relationship with God to be top priority. For whatever reasons, perhaps it's your belief system, it's how you love God, you want, you feel like you find peace in God, but you have no clue how to go about that, because you're probably surrounded with maybe things that, are not very much grooming you to be close to God. So your question will be, how do I groom this? How do I make sure that I'm a spiritual person? Okay, how do I create that peace? How do I do activities that will help me get closer to God? Okay, that's very important. And then how do you brand your values? Okay, by branding, meaning that how do you, again, it's like packaging, it's about how do you want other people to know you for that? If you're a good time manager, you don't have to shout so much about it. When people are meeting up, you'll be the first one to show, probably 5 minutes earlier, 10 minutes earlier. So that is going to be you. When they say people who put their family first, your children, your relatives will definitely know because it's how you do it. So how do you want to brand that? Okay, how do you? It doesn't have to be you put yourself out on billboards. It's just how you make your decisions, how you prioritize, how you talk about it, how you stay non-negotiable about that. So that can tell a lot about how you brand yourself, but also how do you communicate your values. Okay, that's very important because sometimes we might be misunderstood. Sometimes we might be not taken seriously because you have not communicated your values properly. Okay, so if let's say you value your solitude, you're just a person who loves your time alone. Like, you need your time alone. And let's say you live with people, maybe you're married, you have your partner, maybe it's children, but you need that moment where everybody can understand that you really value, because when you have time with yourself, at least an hour a day, that's where you can really, you are able to attend to everyone else. That's where you feel recharged. So it could be your time alone to read, your time alone to meditate, to go through some devotion, or you want to go for a walk alone. So people can feel like you are secluding yourself, you're withdrawing, or you don't want to connect with people. But if you communicate right, if you help other people understand that is the most important part to you, kindly, you do it kindly, please, then that allows other people to accommodate you, allows other people to not misunderstand you, but also even it allows other people to cooperate with you, because they will have known you for you. Okay, so let's try to make an effort to see how best we can communicate our values. Companies will have their values laid out on their banners, on their website and things like that. It's easier for companies to kind of define and communicate their values even when they're not living by them. But when it comes to personal values, to individuals, it can be really hard. And sometimes people can intrude you. They can come into and not care about your boundaries. They might not care about what you value, because in the first place, you never communicated them to them. So let's be mindful, okay? If you really value your faith in God, or your spiritual, your spiritual belief or something, find a way that you can communicate so that you're not a bother to other people, or you're not misinterpreted by other people, and people respect you for that. You don't want to be like abandoned, or I would say discriminated, or treated differently just because of something you value dearly, because it's not well communicated. So make sure you find a way around that. Okay, so I hope that is useful to you today. That process, but please make sure January does not end. You really identify things that ground you, and reflect on how these things can be a part of your character. These things can be a part of your DNA, because definitely I can tell you, your life, whether you want it or not, you're in constant. This is something else that I learned from our session with our facilitator, was our guest speaker, was that you're always in interaction with values, whether it's your values, other people's values, or organizations' values, or the national values or something. You are in that intersection where you have to negotiate or comply. So if you don't have values of your own, you will have to comply with whoever that they're brought. So let's say I'm right here, and a friend of mine or a colleague of mine comes and wants me to help them with something. Probably for them it's something they value most. Maybe I don't. I will be able to decide if I can help that person, I can work with that person, I can spend another time of my life with that person, because I know what I value. And maybe for them, it's very clear. They came to me because probably they know that is what they value at that time. Okay? So it's very important for you to have your own set of values grounded. Okay? That will help you. That will help you how you prioritize, how you make decisions, how you choose your path. Okay? How you make goals, how you set goals for your life. If it's family first, if family first is your value, how you set your goals, how you spend your money, how you spend your time really tells if you really value your family. And you have to know, when you say family, what is it? Is it your immediate family? Is it your wife, your children, your parents, your siblings, your cousins? I don't know, whatever that is. But you have to also be very clear about that as well. If it's time management, that means how you use your time, how you show up and things like that. It's very clear. How you set your goals is going to be very clear. So, I hope this really helps you. And don't get through February without reflecting, taking time to really look at yourself. What are your values? What are your values? And how do they shape your character? How do they shape who you are? So I hope this is helpful to you. And one final thing is, be a part of something, meaning that, I hope this year for you, be the one that you really set yourself to achieve something that will make you better, or rather closer to the things you desire the most in terms of becoming and achieving. Whatever it is whether it's a financial goal, career goal, personal growth goal, whatever it is, I hope this year you're really going to move towards that, and you have the right tools to support you. So the right environment, the right network, the right resources, the right capacity. If there are skills to develop, just try to identify those and make sure that they help you to reach your goals. So one thing that I want to offer you is that if you do not have a network, if you don't have that community, if you don't have that support system, please check out with Mimi Nani. We have a lot of free things for you that can help you. This session right now is one of them. We have our closed gatherings every month. Career Gear Up, we meet every month just to learn, to network, and share opportunities. So be a part of something. It doesn't have to be Mimi Nani, but it could be your alumni association. It could be some network you're following. But have that personal touch, have that personal touch, not just, some existing network that, it's just there. But if there is a live kind of experience, so try to find a support system, because again, life is filled with valleys and mountains. So in your valleys, you lose motivation, you lose energy, things can hit you from nowhere and you find yourself all of a sudden you're 0 from 10. So you need to have that motivation. So if you have the right support system, the right people, the right information to keep you going, that would be very useful. So check out at Mimi Nani for the Career Gear Up. Whatever we post, whatever you need, you just have to sign up and join. But also we're going to be hosting monthly goal setting, goal catching up sessions for those who would like to, where we just meet every month for evaluating our goals for the month and kind of planning for the next, and just go through our self-discipline areas and things like that. So if you would like some accountability, some sharing, some follow-up every once a month, please check us out. We'll post a bit of details later, because we have been busy working on delivering the planner session for 2023. It's a 4 weeks program. So after that, we'll be just doing monthly follow-up. So if you want to be a part of that, you will just fill in the details and do not miss out. Just make sure that you get that motivation, you get that inspiration every month from yourself, from others, and just making sure that you're not behind your goals, you're just ahead of them. So I wish you the best. Find time to review your January and make plans for February. Okay, the more you narrow down your goals, the better. Okay, don't be all out. Try to just focus on the few. Okay, so think about what you want in your career, what you want so badly in your, let's say, financial success. What do you want in the area of your talents and skills? We have so much that is untapped within us, so much potential. So don't be so focused on looking at outside, what the world can offer you. Look at what you can offer to the world. And when you do that, you'll find that you are just this amazing, beautiful, complex human being that is so blessed with so much. So I want you to look at one area in your life, your talents, your skills, your capabilities. What can you do? What can you become? And if you need help, again, check us out. We have so many sessions around that, self-awareness and helping you to be the most that you can be. So just those 3 areas can take you so much. If you have a career goal, you have a financial goal, and you have your talent and skills goal, wow, I have no idea. Like by December 31st, you'll be a different person. Just simple goals that you can follow through every month. So I hope this is helpful for you. I've been quite a mouthful, but I really, really felt charged and fired up to kind of have this talk so that we can have a great ending of the month. And next week we'll be launching the theme for February. So I hope you're as excited as I am. Yeah, so let's meet then. Until then, you have a great weekend, and let's stay on touch and work on your values, work on your goals, and let's keep going. Bye bye. I wish you the best.